We are here at the Veterans of Foreign Wars National Headquarters in Kansas City, Missouri. We'll be speaking with John Hamilton, the Adjutant General of the VFW. Before receiving this appointment, Hamilton served as a Commander-in-Chief of the nearly 1.4 million member organization. Hamilton is a third-generation Marine and a triple Purple Heart recipient. John joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us here.
Thank you for having me.
As we sit amongst all this history here and photographs in the museum, tell us a little bit about the history of the VFW.
Since 1899, the VFW has been taking care of America's heroes, their families, and our active duty military. Unfortunately, there is a need. One of the reasons that we're so adamant about putting America's heroes back to work is the suicide rate is now every 65 minutes some man or woman who served in the military takes their own life. So we're keenly aware that, that self-worth is the issue. If you come home, you can't find a job, we think that all plays into that problem. So we're happy to be here and see what we can do to help America put their heroes back to work.
What do you think the public needs to know and to do to make it easier and embrace these veterans as they come home and try to find work and try to find new lives?
I think the first thing you do is just say, welcome home. Thanks for your service. Thanks for keeping us free. We appreciate what you did. That goes an awful long way to make these young men and women feel better about where they are and what they've done, to know that America really gets it. And I think they do. I think America does get it. People understand now you can love the warrior. You don't have to like the war, but you need to love the warrior. So I think you embrace these people, welcome them home. And remember, if you own a business or if you're hiring for your company, again, veterans make great employees. They're used to being on time. They're used to get mission orientated to do the job, the task at hand. So they make great employees. And we need to encourage America to take a hard look at those people. Particularly Guard and Reserves come back to their local communities. And the rate of unemployment there is much higher than it is in the rest of the world. So we got to do something to help that.
So John, tell me a little bit about your journey and how and why you've made the VFW your lifelong work.
For me, it was coming back and trying to get back into American life. And the VFW played a role in that. The VFW played a role when I was going through a little rehab. They were there, and I'm fortunate and blessed to have this job now, because now I get to tell the VFW story, and I help to motivate other people to come home and remember those commitments you made overseas are just as real today. That you take care of that soldier, sailor, airman, Marine that you were serving with then. It's just as real today as it was then. Matter of fact, maybe more so in some respects. So.
As you sit here now, I'm going to ask you to reflect a little bit on your journey and the choices you made and the choices that you didn't make, where you kind of fell into place. Tell us a little bit about that in your story transitioning out from the military.
Well, I wound up with a career in professional wrestling, which was never my goal.
How does one fall into become a professional wrestler?
Well, I actually had a uncle and two cousins that were in the business that wrestled. One thing led to the other, and I got set up about taking a trip to Boston and watch the wrestling matches that night. And of course, they were shorthanded, and I got in there. And when I got done, I received, my goal was to make $250 a week when I got out of the Marine Corps. I thought I could live well on that back in 1970.
Back in the day?
Back in the day. And what happened was I actually made more than my month's pay that night in Boston. So they got my attention, and I said, I'm in. 14 years later, I finally retired.
And you retired from indulgence with your wrestling name?
Exactly. Well, different ones. Johnny Montana was one. Dr. Death was one. Different names, different places. But I was able to get out and retire at age 36. And what it did for me was it helped me financially and to be secure and to be able to help donate my time to the VFW. And I think that's the greatest thing. I always tell people, the most important job I've ever had was not being a professional wrestler, not all whatever the accolades and whatever you get from those things financially, but the greatest job I ever had was being a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps.
So John, your perspective for those who are about to transition or in the process of transitioning is so important, because it can really be a frightening thing to know that this is your reality now and you're stepping into a whole new realm of a whole new life. Absolutely.
There's life after war. There is life after war. America wants to embrace you. I believe that. Sometimes we have to show them how to do that. We have to assist them in doing that. But this is why this program is so important. Pick up the phone, call these people on this show talking to you about they have programs to hire veterans. They're real. Call those companies. Go to Vet Jobs. Call the VFW. Go to VFW.org. We'll hook you up. That's why we're here. Well, I hope to see America's veterans back to work. I hope to see America's veterans getting the health care they deserve. Their family and their dependents with the new GI Bill have an opportunity to go to school. If the vet doesn't want to, he can pass that down to his family. So things have changed. Things need to continue to change. You know, I think 99% of America can take care of the 1% that took care of them.
That's a great way to put it. A great way to put it. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.